good. Unboxing past events, scars left over from the past, and what to do with it. And of course, this is, we do use, we really love to use the analogy of that we are hurt, that we have wounds from the past, and when the wounds might not be really very fresh and open, and we can have a look at it, or perhaps we have worked on it, then we can say that we look at scar tissue. It's not so raw anymore. And, personally, I come from the non-dual approach, and when we really say that we are hurt and we are then there is also a no in it. I mean, who wants to be hurt, and who would like to be looked at someone who is damaged, with all kinds of wounds and scars, and here's something and there's something, and this is like, I do look at this whole process of the becoming of who we are, because I think, you can not write something in the chat or put your thumb up or something like that. And I have also an idea that you're listening and that we are kind of interacting with each other, but I think we all can say that those events, that we are calling wounds and scars, they also have kind of really had an impact on our lives, that we out of that have really also become who we are. And I believe also many very good things have happened out of that. You agree on that? Yeah? Thumb up if you do. Yes, exactly. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your reaction. Yeah. So, and I don't like the analogy of wounds and damage and scar tissue and all these kind of things, and because to me that is not like I experience it at all. Because what if there is not a wound there, but there has been a seed planted? A seed has been planted by life, yeah, and I just have in my kitchen, I have just put some avocado pits, the big pits. And I don't know if you have ever seen how that goes when you put that one with some sticks in the water, because it cracks open. It's actually very brutally, the seed comes in and it cracks open, and that whole thing seems to be destroyed. You could also say it's a wound, yeah. And sometimes even plants come through tarmac. Yeah, so very powerful. They break through. Yeah, and personally, I like rather to look at it as a plant, as a seed that is planted by life inside of us, and not that we have been damaged and we have, because that is just that I don't like so much the analogy, because it changes when you look at it. Hey, there has been something planted in me so that I can become who I am. And of course, we are not just one seed, but we have many seeds inside of ourselves. And some of them have been planted, like in very expensive soil, and they there was never pain involved. It was just pleasure and nice. And some had to come out of tarmac, and wow, yeah. So they have crashed something in order to grow, and this is what we then call the wounds, actually, and scar tissue and stuff. But it changes. I don't know if you experience that already by yourself. When you look at it, no, there has been a seed planted inside of myself, instead of thinking I have been damaged, a wound, something very horrible has been. And when you look at yourself right now, like a beautiful garden with all kinds of things inside of you, all kinds of seeds, and you're flowering, with time, and when you develop further. And, I think it makes you feel in a very different way. At least me, I do that. And I don't know if you also already have that, when you change only the way as you look at it, that you change like how you feel about the whole process. Can you share shortly if you also think like, okay, that's already feeling differently? Yeah. The others also shortly, then I can see. And thumb down when you say, no, that's it just hurts, doesn't matter. It's also possible, of course. Okay, I think Cheryl, you also can't But you can chat, you can put it in the chat. Okay, fine. Yeah, you have your challenges here, technically, I think. But that is not the only thing, because why do I say that? Why do I say that? It is my experience that those seeds that life has put inside of us, yeah, they do have the capacity to, generally, we have developed some traits out of them. Those ones that went through the tarmac, yeah, we have developed some traits out of them that might not always work so well for us, yeah, and at this very moment, because they're trying to, yeah, those traits try to prevent, pain, yeah, by cracking up the tarmac. They fear that pain and they try to kind of avoid, that something happens to this, so that they're protected, because they also live in the illusion that pain has to be avoided. And that comes because of that brain where this stuff is stored. That is the limbic system, or the brainstem, not even the limbic system, let me say like that. And that is a pure protective brain, yeah. So it is noticed there, and it's just there to protect us. So what does that brain need in order to open up? Yeah. And I think it's already something that you can think of by yourself, because when fear is there, what do you need when you fear? You need to feel safe, of course. Yeah. When you feel safe, when you feel seen, when you feel acknowledged, yeah, then you can open up. Then you can let down your guard. Yeah. And then you can let someone come up to you. But if not, when the territory is dangerous, yeah, then of course you close down, and then the defense comes harder. And that's also happening when we look at our traits as like wounds, and the traits coming out of this. This is just not me. I'm shy, perhaps. I'm not as assertive as that one. And, I'm shy because of my past experiences and my wounds. And then you don't see actually what shyness actually is. And you want to throw away the bathing water together, the baby with the bathing water. Everything will go. Yeah. And of course, everything inside of yourself says protect, stop, stop, stop. Yeah. And the defense goes higher. So when we want to heal, I don't like the word, but when we want to heal ourselves, yeah, with an attitude of healing, with an attitude of this was wrong. And then you also make that aspect of shyness wrong. And that aspect of shyness has a whole story inside of you. It is an aspect of you. It is part of who you are. And it has this trait of shyness just as one. It could be any trait, yeah. It has this aspect of shyness, which is just used as need fulfillment and self-protection, because it's afraid, it does not feel safe. And the more you want it to be away, even if you want to love it away and heal it away, which we want to do, I love you to death. Yeah. So go. Yeah. When we're honest. Yeah. And we accept and we try, but we don't want to be shy. We want to be assertive like the other ones. That belongs to the picture of an authentic person as we have in our mind, and not a shy person. But when you look at it, and I have to think a bit, because the word shyness just came into my mind. I've not thought about it before. But when shyness is just looked at, without any mind concept with it, and it is just looked at what it is, yeah, that means actually that a person, and fearful shyness is always that they're very much aware what is all happening in their surroundings. Yeah, they're very much aware. They can read people, they sense people, and they have a good awareness of what is going on in their surroundings, to check if it is safe to say something or what to behave. Yeah. And so when you look at it, it's actually that shyness is the ability to keep quiet and to be aware of your surroundings. Yeah, to be aware of your surroundings. And that's what it is. When this trait is acted out without fear, yeah, means that that aspect feels really, really, I need to look the time, really, really safe, yeah, then there is no need for protection. And then something happens, and I do this now a long time, something happens, yeah, what is natural, and that is development. Development is something natural. Things are always developing naturally. In nature, just look at it, nothing is static. Everything is developing. Yeah? And when does it develop? When the environment is conducive. The more conducive the environment is, that the more it can develop. And that is something that we need to look at truly when we look at those aspects as mistakes. The environment isn't safe. We want to throw the baby together with the bathing water. Yeah, it's not safe. Yeah, we don't feel welcome. We don't feel seen for what we are, a valid part of the whole family, of everything that is inside of us. Yeah? And when we change that attitude, and let me see. Okay, yeah, that's that. I'm very, very happy about your comments of how you think about it. Right now, I would like just to share, like how I think about it, and we just go into smaller groups, and then we all share our own thoughts about it. Yeah. So here now, it's not like exchanging ideas, but everyone gets his space to share his his thoughts about it. There are, of course, many thoughts that one can have. There are as many ways as there are people. Yeah, this is also why I like that other people also share their view. Yeah, but this is something that I just want to share. Yeah, and to bring it into an awareness that we when we change the attitude we have towards ourselves, and we see actually like how brilliant can it be when people don't just always just want to share themselves and want to say like, okay, this is what I think and this is, but more aware of what is going on in their surrounding and decide by themselves, do I want to say something? Is it does it fit here and does it not fit here? But and I think that is really good, yeah, to have such kind of person also to have that trait. When you want to have the person who is more like shy and is not that assertive, always like sharing and saying and stuff like that, yeah, it has also absolutely its quality, and it is something that we do naturally. And it holds true for every single trait that we do have. It has a capacity to protect for self-protection and need fulfillment when it doesn't feel safe. But when the environment is conducive, it grows up by itself. We don't need to tell a child to grow up. It grows up by itself. Yeah. When the environment is conducive, it grows up very well. Yeah? And this conducive environment is when we start seeing it and when we start welcoming it and when we start, and we don't even need to know, even better not to know of to what it will grow and how it will express itself through us. Yeah? But when we just know that this process is happening and that we trust it. Yeah? And when we, and anyhow, it is part of us. Yeah, the more forceful we try to be someone else and to act in ways that it is not a fit to us, which is not an expression of our what I call authentic self. Yeah, because our authentic self is not a mind-made something that we think we should be because it is some kind of this is authentic, but it is something that is already inside of you. It is really lived from within. Yeah, and this conducive environment that we can create, and just by changing how we look at ourselves, yeah, that makes already one step in it. And to train and to strengthen your observing presence, which is always there. And when we are training it and we become more aware of like everything that is happening, and we can create really that space, that safe space, yeah, for ourselves first, and perhaps when it grows further also for others, yeah, where they can be who they are, yeah, and then development is happening organically. I don't believe in proactive development. I believe in creating that environment by this observing presence, by the energy we carry for everything that is happening, regardless of how it presents itself in a certain moment. And that is how I look at this scar tissue of the past. Yes. So that's what I wanted to share. And then